Hi there, Diane Evans here with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator. So if this is your first time joining me on YouTube, I'm so glad that you did. And do make sure that you do subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell just down here and you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. So today I'm going to be doing a variation of this particular double slide out card. There's going to be a few modifications to this card because I don't like how this one actually turned out. But we are using the Beautiful Friendship photopolymer stamp set. This is such a pretty stamp set, and I've got to show it off before it retires on May the 4th, or on May the 3rd is going to be the last day. So I'm going to go through the basic mechanisms and how I decorated this card. So what you're going to need is one full piece of cardstock, and I chose to use Blushing Bride. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this cardstock and you are going to cut it 5.5, which is right like there, by 11. This is 8.5 by 11. This is 5.5 by 11. Keep this piece because you're going to need this piece. And then on the 11-inch side, and I'm just going to move my stamping blocks out of the way, you are going to do a few score lines. Now, there's lots of different videos for doing this double-sided slide card, but I found by an error I made, it worked out to be a benefit. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did that. So we're at 3.5 inches. We're going to score it. So make sure your cutting blade is out of the way. So you can score at 3.5. Then you're going to score at 7 inches. And then you're going to score at 7 1/8 inch. And this is the error that I made, and this has made my mechanism work so much better in every way. And now we're also going to score this at 10 5/8. And trust me, that little bit there makes such a big difference. Well, it did to mine anyway. So a blooper worked out to be really, really good. And actually, while I've still got this in here, I'm going to come and I'm going to cut that scrap piece of Blushing Bride. And I'm going to cut that into, this is already 3 inches, and I'm going to cut it 3 inches by 5 inches. And I've got enough to do the 2. And it's so nice when you can use up a full piece of cardstock, or when it's looking like it's a card that's using a full piece of cardstock, that you can use the scraps as well. So all we've got left over is this little piece here. All right, I think that I do have other pieces already cut, and I'll let you know what those are. I decided I wanted to, this was one I had made years and years and years ago, and it actually went the opposite way. And I decided I wanted mats on this particular card. So that's why I've gone and I've used different ones here. So on this piece, this is rich raspberry, it's 3 by 5. And then this piece of white is, let's see, no, this is 3 1/4 inches by 5 1/4. And this piece of basic white is 3 inches by 5 inches. Now, all my measurements will be on my blog, which will get linked down below, but you're going to need the video and the blog to know which way to cut everything and which way to score things and everything else. Then I also have 2 pieces of rich raspberry that are 2 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then I've got 2 other mats of basic white that are 2.5 by 4.5, and it's just a 1/4 inch difference on there. So those are the pieces that we need. Now I'm coming in with my bone folder. And this is so important that you get this, you score this down, or fold it with your bone folder. Now this one's going to be the hardest one to do, is this one that is the other 1/8. But trust me, you get that fold in there. That's what actually made this particular card for me, because I was having issues with it not sliding properly. And this just made it slide so much easier. So I'm just coming in with a ruler to help me get that second fold. And this just gives me, like I say, a tiny bit of the room that we need for the slider card to move. And then this goes like this on this part here. All right, so now This part is going to go like this, so I'm going to put some tear and tape right on this part right now. We're not going to be doing it right away, but it can be right on that part. And I'm just going, I like my tear and tape to be cut even, so I just use something with a straight edge. It could be a credit card, it could be a gift card, it could be even a stamping block if you wanted. So this is just going to go like that. Now what we're going to do is we have a few things that we have to get done on here. So I want to put a little notch here. Now I am using something that is retiring, but you can use anything that you want. I'm using a 1-inch circle. Most people have these circles in some sort of a punch. I'm just going ahead and I'm just putting that little notch right there. And then also what I want to do is I then want to put a couple of notches out on this side. This is going to go to the inside. So if you look at it this way, you have your score line there. I've got my tear and tape there. I've got my notch there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in notches here. Now this part is really important that you know how big your notch is. You could do things like you could use this classic label punch, which I could go ahead and use. See how, yeah, I could go and use that as well. So maybe what I'll do is I'll use that one. I did use on my card that I made the other night. I went and I used this one here, and this one works great, and this one isn't retiring. This is called the Everyday Label Punch, so you could go ahead and use this, which I did do on my card last night, but I'm going to go ahead and use this classic label. Excuse me. And it is retiring, so it's something that you want to make sure that if you want this kind of a punch, that you have to make sure that you've got it before it retires. So I'm going in as much as I can on this part there. And then I'm going to go onto this side here and do the same thing. Just want to make sure that that's kind of where I'm eyeballing it to make sure it's in the middle there. And you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip these little ends off here, just so that I don't have those to deal with. Just want to snip that off. I'll make this as well. Now, the part that makes this a slider card is that it is a piece of, it could be shopping bag, it can be, these are something that I've had in my stash, which are cellophane bags. You could have any of your cellophane bags that you have. You could use the clear envelopes as well from Stampin' Up. So this is roughly, that opening is roughly, I would say without any leeway, it's going to be 1 and, well, I could go 1 3/4. I'm going to go 1 1/2 on this particular size. So I'm going to show you how I'm going about doing that. This is opened at one end, this particular bag. So I'm just going to take part of that off because I need it to be open. I need it to be open here. Like this, I need opened. And now I'm going to go measure, and I'm going to do it about 1 1/2. Going to measure and cut off. And I can save this one for another one. And then I've got this piece here, and it's just going to be like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on this mechanism so that it works. So I am going to wrap it around. Let's see, I think I'm going to have my seam down at the bottom. I want this part here that's got the crease in it, I kind of want it in the middle so it doesn't interfere with anything. So when I bring this down here, I want there to be, I'm going to attach this to the piece like here. So I'm just going to go in and cut this. And now I've got this piece right here. and this piece here. And now I want to make sure that this is going to move freely. If it is too tight, it's not going to move very easily. So I'm going to go in with my tear and tape. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask me. I'm going to put my tear and tape right along there. And now I want to bring this down here. And like I say, I want it to be loose enough that it's going to move, but I want it to be tight enough that it's not gonna bubble. So I'm gonna go ahead, take this off with my, take your pick tool. And like I say, we don't want this super tight, but we don't want it that loose either. So I made it tight and then I loosened up a bit on it. I'm just going to put this on here and let's see how that's going to move. Is this going to move? It's kind of a little tight, so I'm just going to move it up just a bit more. There we go, let's try that like that. Let's see how that's going to move. I'm wondering, do I have that too tight? We want to make sure that it's going to move back and forth. Yeah, I think the more we use it, the more it's going to work okay. All right, so I'm going to actually just snip. You know, I really want to make that really a little bit looser. I've got it tight, and then I'm just moving it up a bit. There, I think that's going to be better. Yes, much better. So let's bring that back down to this bottom part down here. And I'm just going to cut off this extra bit because I don't want it to stick onto anything. All right. So now when we have these two pieces here, these are your pieces, your mechanisms that are going to help it move. So what I want to do is I want to put a piece of tear and tape back down on this side down here. I want that to be fairly straight, so I'm going back in with my ruler again, just like that. Now I'm going to take this part off, like so. And now what I want to do is I want to line this part up here, up at the very, very top there, put it in the middle, and then press down on this part with the tear and tape. With the tear and tape. And then what's going to happen is that's going to move like this, and we're going to get it so it moves better. We'll just play with it a little bit. So that part is done there. Now what we want to do is we want to just turn this part over, and now I'm going to put some tear and tape right up at the top here. And you can kind of see how I'll just take this part again, take this off. Now, you see how this is loose up at the top there? What we want to do is on this piece here, I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to attach it to the tear and tape down there. And this part up here is going to be loose. So, like I say, we're going to go at the opposite side. This one's up at the top up there. Just make sure that that's there. And now we're going to go put this down here at the bottom and line it up there. Now what that's going to do, when this is closed, this is going to move. Just want to bear with me here. This is going to move like so. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that this is moving back and forth. And we may have to jiggle it a little bit, but the more you play with it, the looser it's going to get. So let's just do that again. There we go. See, it's just going to go back and forth. Okay, so now basically we've got our mechanism done, but now what we want to do is we want to decorate it. So this is going to be the front of my card. So I have And this is, I am decorating everything before I attach this whole card together. So this is going to go on here like so, as a mat. So I want to come in and I want to punch this same spot. Now, if you're using a circle die, you would do the same. You would just line that up. See, because I don't want mine to be, I actually wanted to bring it over there. That'll work. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that on there. I'm not going to do the next piece down, but at least now we know that this is going to be the front of the card, right? So let's line that up. And now also with my mat piece here, I'm going to line that up the way it's going to go. I'm not going to attach it yet, but I'm going to go in with my punch or with a die, like I said. And then we're going to make sure. And then this way, the front is going to look like it's just been cut out all together. And this just makes it easier because to punch through 3 pieces of cardstock sometimes is a little bit harder. All right, so we've got that like that. Now what we want to do is we want to decorate the front of this card. Now, like I said, I am using the Beautiful Friendship. And I'm using the colors I'm using, and I've already gone ahead and put these onto my blocks. I am using Blushing Bride, Rich Razzleberry, and I think I left one more stamp in here that I want to use. I want to use this stamp itself. And now we're going to go ahead and start decorating. So I think what I'll do is I'll start with my Blushing Bride. Now I kind of want it to be, I'm going to put, you know what, I might even be smart to put my words first. I'm going to put the good things in life are better with you. I think I'm going to use that particular one. And let's put that onto a block. We want to make sure that we've got that good and straight. And I'm going to do that in Rich Razzleberry is actually what I'm going to do. So let's just make sure that we've got that straight. Yeah. So I'm just going to go there. And I kind of want to put this off to the side up here. And now I can go ahead and do the rest of my decorating, knowing that it's going to be okay. Now these are photopolymer stamp sets, so I'm coming in with my piercing mat. And now I'm going to go ahead and let's just use our Blushing Bride. See, I'm going to put it a bit on an angle. I've got a bit of, it's there, so let's put that about there. Tend to over decorate this particular one. Now I'm going to put this beautiful flower here. Now I'm not going to actually have that on the front part of this card, but I'm coming in with this rose. I think they're a rose, and I'm going to do my modified version of Kissing, and I'm just going to put that there. So it's giving me, I've got like a Blushing Bride base. Just going to use a tiny bit of that color there. And then, let's see, maybe we'll put one more just in the Blushing Bride up about here. Just like that. And then I love these little parts from this stamp set, these. So I'm going to put those, yeah, I think we can put one there. And then let's maybe put one going down there. And you know what, that's almost, oh my goodness, I have something already up there. So you know, I've got a blotch up there, so I'm going to go in and I think I'm going to just put that like that. Yep, that'll work. Now I could use the green, and I used Mellow Moss, and let's see what that's going to kind of look like. Or not Mellow Moss, I used Mint Macaron. And we have these, there's some beautiful leaf stamps in here. But I found when I re-inked this, I got it really dark, and I kind of wanted it to be quite subtle. There we go. And I think we can go ahead and put a leaf down there. There. I kind of like that. I don't think it's overly done. So now that's going to go on the front of my card. So let's go ahead and put that on the front. Now I guess what I could do, which would look really, really nice, say if I did a bit of blending on there with the sponges. These sponges really add an awful lot to your cards. It kind of just takes that starkness away, right? So let's just go, let's put just a bit, just to take that starkness off of the pure white. There. Yeah, I like how that works. Okay, so we've got that part there. Now let's go ahead and decorate the insides of the card. So these ones are not going to show as much. One's going to show on the left side and one's going to show on the right side. So originally I had done this and I thought, oh, you know, I really should tone it down a little bit and not use the same stamp set. So I'm actually going in with this really neat, I don't know if it's a hydrangea, I have no idea. I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to go in with this one, that rose, and I'm just going to actually put some of that pink behind there. And this one here, I think we're even going to use it in the pink this time. There we go. And that's all I'm going to put on that side. Now, what I could do, and you know what, I think I will. I'm going to use this Tasteful Touches again and put You Are So Special. I think that would be a really nice one to also put on this card. The good things happen in life. The good things in life are better with you in it. And then I think is If You Are So Special, I think that would work really, really nice with that particular, this card. Let's go like this. And we're putting it as much as we can over to this side. Make sure that that's good and straight again. It's not bad. Let's see. Looks like I got a little bit off. I always test mine, and I line up along the bottom of my stamps, and I think I'm going to have some color on me here. So let's just go. That should be even. Not bad. Okay, so that's one side. Now I want to do the other side. So I'm just going to go less on this side. I'm just going to do that. And you know what? I'm going to come in with this little sprig. And then let's just put that in there like that. Oh, you know what? Let's do another one while we can. Off to the side. There. I think that's enough. So let me just close up my stamp pads. Make sure that your stamp pads are closed. I find sometimes that mine don't close properly, and I want to make sure that they do close. Now, get these. Oh, and you know what? Again, I can take this pink, this Blushing Bride, and then let's just put a bit of that on there. I just think it just so subtle, but it works. There we go. All right, so now we can go ahead and put this card together. So this piece here is going onto the front. So let's go ahead and attach that on the front. I want to make sure that your hands are clean. That's how I get so many splotches on my cards. So let's go ahead, and this can go right on here. Like that. And I guess if we wanted to, we could have put some more embellishments on there. This part is going to come, we're going to pull this out. So now I'm going to mat this onto our two mats here. This one's going to go onto the right side. And that's why if you get the rest of your card done up, to put this decoration in here, it works so much better when you've actually got it all put together. Whoops, we got something on the back of that. Good thing it was on the back and not on the front. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you like this, give me the thumbs up. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them. I have, like I say, a link to my blog, and that's going to allow you for your measurements and everything else. So I'm just going to go put this. This piece should have actually been cut down a little bit, and I'm actually going to cut it because you're not going to see it. And that I think I made modifications last night for, but forgot to make those down. Put those down on this sheet. So I'm just cutting this off so that I can get it back in there. So, like I say, this is going like so. Very important that we do this. This is going to go on there, and this piece is going to go on here. So now let's go ahead and put that, map that onto there. See what I mean, though? It's so much easier if you do it when you've... Right? This is just going to go on here. Now, to close this up, this is just going to close like so. Now, to get this so that it's going to work, remember we've got those 2 creases there. That's what's going to give us that extra room for that stuff to move around in there. So I'm going to take this piece off. This one right here. And this is just going to attach. You want to make sure it's right to the edge and up to the end there, just like that. And then we have our piece that's going to come out, just like so. Now, because we can, and we have pearls to match, the Blushing Bride pearls, which are the pastel pearls, I am going into my, and we're going to take these pearls, and let's go ahead and use these. Just like so. And one down here. Yeah. And we do need something on here to pull it with. So I have this ribbon, this metallic edged ribbon is retiring, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and we can use the rich raspberry blends, which are also retiring. And I think we're going to try using the light color. And we're almost out of it. You know what? I think we can go in with the dark at work. This will lighten up a little bit. You know what? I could have looped that. Just going to loop that like so. So I'm just going to go in with my... Now let's just hope I can remove this and go from there. So we're just going to go in. I'm going to take this up here. So I'm just going to, I think I'm going to have to also go here and cut it just a bit more. And now we're going to go in with our tear and tape because we want it to stay there good and strong. We're kind of doing this after the fact. We really didn't want to do this. We also want, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just lift this up just a tad. And we're going to put some tear and tape right behind here. Tear this off. Wasn't thinking when I did that. Where's my, take your pick tool. There we go. Let's take that off, like so. We're going to go ahead and put this right down here in the middle, if we can. And then let's take this like this and put that there. And then that's going to give us our little tiny bit of a pull for this card. So there's our card. I hope you like that. I'm quite happy with the way that it turned out. I could have done more decoration on there, but I found less is best at this point. So I hope you like that. Again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me the thumbs up. Also, if you live in Canada, I'd love to be your demonstrator. I have a very generous online reward program. Plus, also, for anybody that puts an order in with me, I have a tutorial or two for you each and every month. So I hope you enjoyed that. Bye for now.